Hey friends, this is Wendy. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to be making some beautiful cards with the Azalea's English Garden background stamp that I have here. And we are going to make some window cards, see-through type window cards. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here is a full stamped panel that I colored using Copic markers. I did color this in my Creative Vault and like just sitting here finishing it up, but I didn't color it here on the video for you because it's quite lengthy for the coloring. But I am going to do some stamping here to show you another alternative for a background stamp like this if you didn't want to color it, because I know that getting background stamps like this can seem a little overwhelming. And you can think, my goodness, I don't know if I want to sit and color that whole thing. And not everybody likes coloring, and not everybody knows how to color, or at least not with shading and all that kind of stuff. However, I would encourage you that if you do want to color this, that you would color it, if you want to color it and you don't want to do all the shading and all of that, that's okay. Just color it solid. You don't have to be fancy with it. I promise it'll still be gorgeous because the stamp itself is beautiful. This stamp is from Honeybee Stamps, and this video is for Honeybee Stamps today. And we are going to be sharing how to make the window card in this. Now, I want to draw your attention really quick to the fact that I have already used a embossing tool over this, an embossing powder tool over the top of this black cardstock. That's why you see kind of like that white there. It's really important to put an embossing powder tool over the top of your cardstock, because in doing so, it makes it so that your embossing powder doesn't stick where you don't want it to. I was really struggling with this ink pad, trying to get the lid off of it, so I used my scissors to pop the lid off. I think it's because I had never opened it before, so it was just a little bit sticky. This is Honeybee Stamps Gold Metallic Ink, and we are going to ink up this background stamp with gold ink, and then we're going to emboss with gold embossing powder. This is some old gold embossing powder that I had, and I realized I really need to place an order for some new gold embossing powder. I haven't purchased any in a very long time, so I think it's time that I get some new. Also, I don't know if you peep the ring, but this is my new ring. It has a little bee in the middle. You can see it right there, and it moves around this ring in a circle. It's on my right hand there where my bracelet is. And so I decided that every time I do a honeybee video, I need to be wearing my honeybee ring. Isn't that cute? I just really, really love it. You probably can't see it very good from here, but it is so cute. I just love it. The little bee just goes in circles around the ring, and I found this at a little boutique near where I live, and I think it's so cute. So here I stamped my gold ink, I think 3 times, and I'm sorry my head keeps getting in the camera view there. I moved my camera, and now I'm used to stamping a little further up on my screen, as you can see here. So I'm just going to have to get kind of used to the new placement. Obviously in this video you can see I'm struggling with the placement just a little bit, so that's why my head keeps getting in the way, and I'm showing you stuff kind of at the top of the screen. Just had to do a little bit of fine tuning in my craft room and getting my camera set up where I needed it. So here we're going to pull the panel off. I'm being very careful not to touch in that gold ink because it is pigment ink, so therefore it doesn't dry super fast. So now I am going to use this embossing powder to cover this. I'm going to tell you, I actually liked this better without the embossing powder. Once I add the embossing powder, we get a totally different look. The gold embossing powder that I'm using today is, again, I said it's old, and I'm definitely going to be purchasing some new stuff. This stuff really, I'm laughing at myself because I'm kind of off camera here at the top. This is a really almost like an antique-y gold look instead of bright, shiny gold. And so it just kind of really changed the look of everything. So I'm just tapping it off here, getting the excess embossing powder off, and then I'm going to heat set this. And you'll see what I mean as I heat set it. It still turned out beautiful. I'm not mad at it. It's just, it would have been prettier, I feel, in a brighter gold. So just something to note if you have older embossing powders, or if you're going for a certain tone or look with your embossing powder, just be aware that sometimes you might have to change embossing powders. Even if it's a gold, you might have to use a different gold. You know what I'm saying? So here's the finished look. So you can see it's kind of got that more antique-y finish. I was wanting really a more bright gold finish, and that's okay. We got what we got, and we're going to go with it. It's not a big deal. I also realized I would really like some rose gold embossing powder. So I'm going to be getting a couple of those, I think. A couple of different ones. So here my panel is cut at 4 by 5.5. And I am going to add a strip of rose gold shimmer cardstock to the edge of this. It took me a little bit to decide what I was going to do. I considered even just trimming the card down and not adding an extra piece on the edge, but I ended up adding an extra piece on the edge, and I really, really like how that turned out. So here I went to start to cut this off, and then I thought, you know what, let me try this. So this is Rose Gold Assorted Spellbinders Pack. It is sold at Honeybee Stamps. I will link to all of the products I used today so that you can see them. And I started to cut it with this, and then I decided to use my trimmer so that I could really make sure I got 1/4 of an inch. And then we're just going to line it up on the edge here and glue it down. I did debate if I wanted to use this because it's not the same gold, but at the end of the day, I thought it still looked really pretty, and I was happy with the result. Sometimes it's fun just to add a little interesting strip of cardstock onto a piece of, onto the front of your card for just a little bit of extra interest. And then we're going to pop it in our Tim Holtz trimmer here and chop it down. When I chopped it the first time, I got really too close to the edge. I didn't chop enough, and it kind of just bent it. So I ended up going in and chopping just a little bit more, and then that worked beautifully. It turned out great. And then we have a nice clean edge. So from here, I went ahead and made sure to add my 5x7 piece of cardstock to my 5x7.5 piece of cardstock. So I've cut 2 pieces of cardstock, one at 5x7.5 and one at 5x7. That's because I really wanted to make sure this card was super sturdy and heavy duty. So I used 110-pound Nina Solar White cardstock that I got from Honeybee. And I added my panel to the front of that, and then I scored at the 1/2 inch mark. And this gives us a little tab to attach to our other piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to burnish the edge there, and we're not going to attach it yet because we're going to die cut a hole in the front of both of these. We're going to use the Bitty Sentiments Fall set. I've got the dies and I've got the stamp set, and I'm going to use that Thankful across the front. And then is a hidden little message underneath. I'm going to stamp that we are friends. So thankful, we are friends. And, or I think it says, actually, I think it says thankful for your friendship. And I'm going to show you how we hide that in this part. So these are the sentiments that are die cuts. There's a bubble die cut and then a layer that is just a like smaller written out die cut, basically. The script itself. But I like this because you're able to then layer and get an kind of like a more finished look from your die cut pieces. So then I added my smallest I basically held up the sentiment and made sure it would fit across this. And then I put my smallest circle onto this magnetic platform and I die cut it, and I die cut a hole from both of the card fronts. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create my sentiments that are going to go over the top, and I'm going to attach this card front to the card back. So I'm just going to use Honeybee's glue here. You guys have seen me using Honeybee's glue a lot instead of my glue press. I'm going to be honest with you. It's because two reasons. One, grabbing the little Honeybee glue is just super, super handy and convenient, and it doesn't ever seem to be clogged, which is nice. And then secondly is I have a larger nozzle in my glue press right now and I don't like it. I want the smaller nozzle, so I just need to place an order to get that. So that's why. If you've noticed that, that's the reason. So I'm going to grab my black card base and I'm going to decide how I want to do my sentiments. And I decided I wanted to do a metallic. I think I did a metallic background. Let me look. Yeah, I do a metallic background that matches that little strip on the side. So that kind of helps draw those two pieces together. And then I'm going to do my font in black cardstock. And for my other one, I am doing my background in black and my font in white. And then I needed to cut a little ring that was going to go around my card with the white background. I'm sorry, you guys. I keep yawning. I keep yawning. It's not because I'm bored. It's because I'm just a little sleepy this morning while I'm trying to get my voiceover done here. Okay, so we're going to ink up a background in Briar Rose from Concord and Ninth. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it off once so that it's a nice background. And then we're going to stamp it again on the cardstock. And now we have a little bit of pattern in that background. And this is going to go on the inside of our card base. So let's have a little bit of story time. We don't have very much time, but just a scotch of story time here. It is May. All of you know it's May. I don't know. I saw a meme the other day that said May has all of the events and chaos of December, but in tank tops. In here in California, that's definitely true. We're into the 90s. We got 91 degrees today, 91 degrees tomorrow. And I'm telling you, May might be the death of me. There are so many things happening in the month of May. Weddings. My daughter is running for Miss Amador. So she's running for, it's a scholarship, ag focused scholarship. So she is running for that, and that's got a lot of requirements. And we just have busy, we're ending out the school year. Every kid gets that end of the school year. I'm so done with school. I'm over it. I don't want to be there anymore thing. And so we're dealing with that. And it's just been a month. My mom had surgery, nothing major, but, it was a little bit chaotic with that. And we did lose one of our puppies. I shared that in another video. One of our oldest dog, Molly, we had to have her put down. That was rough. It's just been crazy. It just has been crazy. So I feel like May can kiss my big toe at this point. I am like ready for June. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready for my kid to be out of school. I'm ready for fun, going to the lake and like doing all the fun things and not having the chaos of the schedule being so crazy. And I think that all the time. And then what happens? We still end up with a crazy schedule. I don't know what happens. My little niece, Ashley, who we talked about before, Here, we're going to go to the card really quick. So I picked a sentiment to go inside of this little window, and it says for your friendship. So the top piece is going to have thankful, and then you open it and it says for your friendship in the little hidden area. So we're going to stamp this in Briar Rose. Oh no, lies. We're going to stamp it in black. Honeybee black ink, which I did on purpose because I felt like it kind of ties into the black circle. I thought that would look nice. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, my little niece, Ashley. So I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if I told you yet. She's pregnant again. Yes, she is. The one that had Emery, that was in the hospital for so long, that had all the complications. My girl, my little Ashley girl, she already got pregnant again. She is due before Emery's first birthday. Yes, she is. And they are scheduling her cesarean. So she will have this baby before Emery turns 1. Emery is thriving and doing well. Our new little baby, I'm not sure what she would want me to share with you, so I'm not going to say right now, but he has some complications. He is growing normally and all of that, but there are some complications with his physical body. And so that will be something that will be dealt with when he gets here. Anyways, hope you all are having a wonderful day. Let me know below if you like these cards, and I'll catch you in the very next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.